Yo, 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 welcome everybody to TCR Trinity Competitive Racing. This is the golden class for round number 6 for the British Grand Prix. My name is Seafreeze, and I am alongside none other than your Season 10 champion, Kersey, from the Platinum class last season. How are you tonight, and thanks for joining me.
Hello, hello, how's it going? I appreciate the introduction. Let's make sure we get all the accolades in there.
It's a pretty stacked booth. We got a few championships to our liking, a few constructors, you know. It's a pretty top-tier line as far as the, the drivers go.
That's
But
last season, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, that is right. Teammate, ex-teammate. We're good at driving, not so much the commentary. But we're gonna try our best. It's the first time we're doing it together, and we're gonna have some fun at it tonight. We have 17 drivers for tonight's race. We will go through the championship standings as it stands. We have QVR Packer in the Haas, currently on pole position provisional. He is currently leading the championship with 101 points, 3 wins to his name. He is leading. Right behind him is Perry the dog, he is here tonight, which is good. He's got 85 points with 1 win and a few podiums to his name. And then right behind them as well is Chargers in the Red Bull with 78 points. No wins, but all, I think he's got 4 podiums to his name. And then shortly after that, his teammate, Snipper Pig, who joined a few races into the season. He picked up his first win, pretty sure last week, and he is back in the points with 47, so he's a little bit farther back, but those are your top 4, and 5th to round off is TCR F1 Racer, who is also on the grid. He's in the Williams. And then I'll just go through the constructors real quick. We have the Haas's of Gold Raider and Packer with 135 points. The Red Bulls, as mentioned, Chargers and Snipper Pig, 125, so only 10 behind. And then followed by the Mercedes of Bats Plus and Perry. So still very close, probably the closest championship out of the 3 classes here in TCR. Tonight we are using the regular track limits for TCR, and also tonight drivers have to stick within the limits for all the corner cuts. Obviously, at least a tire within the white lines, but also for track extensions. As long as you have a tire within the, as long as you're touching a black or white curb, then you are fine. And then the stewards are taking extra careful look into cops and stow corners. So just a little, but I think overall the track limits are quite easy. But yeah, anything you're seeing out there?
No, looks like everything's okay. I was quite confused why TJ just put his car in park at turn 1 for a second.
Oh, we don't want to be doing that. But we got 11 minutes left.
F1 Racer's currently on a lap.
Deathwish says, "Sup, boys? What's up, Deathwish?" We'll just go through a few more things before we get going in tonight, as we have 10 minutes remaining. Perry is still needing a lap. He's P17 at the moment. Still waiting for him. Tomorrow is the Platinum class, Thursday, 8:15 p.m. Eastern for the Platinum class. They're doing the 100% full race distance tomorrow night, so make sure everyone tunes in for that. If anyone is interested in joining or wants more info, go to TCR's website. It's in the description below. All our social medias as well. Our Fanatec affiliation, if you need any Fanatec gear, is also down below. And our TCR stickers, supported by Sticky Fingers Canada, is also there. So there's quite a few variations of TCR stickers, as we have a
spins at the last corner on a flyer.
Yeah, just caught the end of that. He's sitting P14 at the moment.
Looks like QVR Packer was a little bit in the way, just nothing concerning, but he was going to start his lap. He's now on one. The top 3 very close together. Top 3 covered by just over half a tenth, so it looks like the top's going to be quite close.
Alright, let's see who else is on a lap here. We got TJ's slowing down. Got the Renault. Interesting, X Ryan's teammate, I believe it's JWX Gaming. He mentioned in the Discord that someone must have hit a telephone pole or something went down in his in his neighborhood, so he has no internet or electric. So that's why he is not here today. That's why we only have one Renault, not both of them. Well, actually, no. Well, I guess the other Renault on the grid is a reserve, so. But his actual teammate is not here. But Ryan is starting a lap now, coming through the first few corners. Maybe we'll stick on board for the Renault. Getting a
Packers
nice
coming across
exit.
the line on a flyer as well.
Alright, let's see.
24-2.
Ooh, pretty nice. Over 4/10 to P2 at the moment. X Breezy's also on a lap in the Racing Point, sitting P6. Getting a nice exit onto the straightaway here. Opens the DRS. And looks like he's gonna... Oh, I don't know if he might have been on an outlap. He was on an outlap. Oops, that's my bad. I'm rusty. I should have picked that up. Everyone's like, ah, no, he's on an outlap.
Bam Bam in the Alpha coming into the last sector here on a flyer. 2/10 up on his time.
He might get a little bit of slipstream from the Alpha ahead. Oh no, well that's the you having a giggle. I think that's he disconnected, so it's a nice username. You having a giggle? Where I don't know where he is at the moment. Oh no, he's not actually in the Alpha. That's someone else. Who's in that Alpha? Must be RAS Silent. He's given his... No, he's not. I'm all mixed up. Jones is in the Ferrari. My bad. I am so mixed up right now. Jones is getting a little bit of slipstream from Silent, as he's currently on a lap. Jones yet to score a point this season. He's a past champion of the Golden Class, and he's got off to a rough start to the line. Only a P11 at the moment. Just outside. Chargers is getting ready for a lap.
BRZY in the Racing Point is also about to come across the line here shortly.
Yeah, coming through.
Big lockup going into the last chicane.
Coming through club here, off the last corner. Pretty nice. P7. Any predictions for pole? I think Packer probably has this one in the bag. I think he's been the dominant car this season, but we'll see. The Mercedes look quite close. Bats Plus just went P2, about a 10.5 off his teammate just behind him. I don't know if anyone else can challenge.
Also on a lap here. It's about a 10th up coming out of the first sector in about half a second. A little bit less off of pole, so he's going to need a lot of time these last two sectors to challenge for provisional pole. Missing the apex a bit in Megat's Beckett's. 2/10 up on his current lap, weigh 24.7.
Alright, can Chargers improve his lap? Little bit wheel happy, a little bit too much throttle, but he goes P4, so he does improve. But
a lot of time in that last sector.
He probably would have had a maybe. He might have had Perry if he didn't slam the throttle.
Yeah, he was 2/10 up on his lap, I believe, going into the last sector.
Alright, let's see who else is on. I think everyone's slowly coming into the pits, getting their last.
As well.
Yep, he's also on a lap. Coming through.
Majority of the grid currently in the pits, waiting for their last run. Sniper Pig at 007 is on a lap. Going into the last sector, currently 2/10 up on his time. Going wide. And decides to bail into the pits.
F1 racer also just finished a lap. He got a little bit of slipstream from Bam Bam, his friend, and he got up to P12, so not too bad considering the spin earlier on in qualifying. We have about 3 or so minutes left in quali. Everyone's going to start coming out pretty soon. Silent looks like he is on a lap. Blinn said hello. Hello, Blinn. Drizmic retired from session. He is, I guess, content for his quali. He might have used all his tires, it looks like. And let's see. Everyone is in the pits besides the Alfa Romeo.
Probably where he'll want to stay too. I realize his lap is on 3-lap old soft, so. I believe, yes, Silent is on a lap, going to start the last sector. Almost a second up on his time. And losing the back end a lot.
Silent as well as Chargers losing the back end, but he goes P4. That was actually a decent lap for him.
Yeah, it looks
now,
like that last corner is giving a lot of drivers a tough time here.
Yeah, absolutely, and it looks like a lot of drivers are coming out of the pit, so it's about time. It's going to get busy. Can QVR Packer hang on to pole position, or will it be one of the Mercedes that edges them out? We will see.
I think Silent probably could have jumped Perry without that wheel spin at the last corner.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll get another lap. I think he's pretty much done unless he's going to save up his battery potentially, but I think he's done. So he chose to come out a little early, avoid some traffic and try to get a clean lap in, which he did. Let's just see if it holds up. We'll have a little bit of track evolution as we come to the end here. It's dry conditions all throughout quali and I believe the race as well. From we got a few guys sending us that information, so it should be just a straightforward, well, hopefully straightforward race. So quali is gonna definitely help. Alright, let's go. I think
Perry the dog is starting his lap.
Yep. Alright. Let's see if Perry can improve. He's going to be probably the first ones to complete a lap once this cycles around, coming through Brooklands.
Looks like TJ will probably be the first. He's entering Beckett's.
We'll go through here. And it's probably a big relief to come through Cops this corner right here and able to extend a little bit just in case, because we are running the regular. It's kind of hard to do flat out on strict, but Perry loses it on the curbing, and that's it for quali on his half, and luckily there's no one behind him to get collected. We are running ghosting off, so if there was someone there he would have got collected, but thankfully it was all okay. But let's see if his teammate and others can battle for pole. Dre Diggy's also in a lap coming through Maggots and Beckett's onto the hangar straight. Let's see if he's up about a 10th on his time, so it's not a tremendous lap for pole, but we'll see if it's good enough to improve. A little bit of an extension. He sticks with a big lockup from Dre. Let's see if he's got the throttle or nice on the throttle to the line. It's not a crazy good lap. I think he barely 0.2 improvement, but still P15. His teammate Jones is also on a lap. He is not improving, He's 2/10 slower as the Ferrari, so the Ferraris are not going well here in quali. Snipper Pig, last week's winner, 3/10 up on his time. Let's see if he's gained anything else in this last few corners. On the throttle to the line. He goes P5 right ahead of his teammate. Bam Bam also to the line. Alfa Romeo improves a little bit. And we have QVR Packer for pole position. Potentially, does he improve? Yes, he does by about a tenth, a 24.1. But we'll see if that stands. TJ's also in the lap, 6/10 up to the line. P14.
Jose going to be following him in P7, going to improve on his time. P4, improving by about 2/10.
Improves, but barely. A tenth behind. QVR Packer Chargers is also in a lap, but no, he comes into the pits. And I believe that is everyone completing their laps, and that will give the Haas of Packer pole position of 24.1, I believe. So not quite in the 23s, but a very nice lap for pole position. We'll see if he can maintain it throughout the race. So Packer's on pole. 2 Mercedes right behind them, second and third. Just Jose in the Renault P4. Silent in P5. The 2 Red Bulls follow. It's Haas is 1 and 8 at the moment. Gold Raider picking up P8. X Breezy and Bam Bam is your top 10. And we have X Ryan, Jones in F1 Racer, not quite in top 10. Same TJ in 14th, Drizmic 15th, and Dre 16th, and Giggle in 17th. I don't know if he was able to rejoin the lobby. I did see he disconnected earlier on in quali, but hopefully he got back in.
Any predictions for a race win?
You jumped the gun. I was just about to say. I was taking a sip of my coffee over here. Yeah, like I say, every time I do the prediction, or every time I do commentary, I always say that you have to leave your predictions now, otherwise they don't count. So this is the time to do it. I think Packer's gonna pretty much win the race. He's gonna dominate. I'm just gonna say it. He's gonna win it by margins. So I'll put him on P1.
I feel the same way. However, Bats Plus, I believe, was only. Packer looked very comfortable there at the top in qualifying, but Bats Plus, he was less than a tenth off of Packer. So you never know why he might be able to pull out something here in the race. But Packer does look to be the favorite going into it.
And we got the formation lap here. I think for P2 and P3 for the podium, I think we'll put let's do Perry a P2 and let's do Snipper Pig. I know he's got the speed, and he'll put him P3. So Packer, Perry, and Snipper Pig are my predictions. Will that be right? Probably not.
I'll go Packer, Bats Plus, Silent. I'm going to throw Silent in there in P3.
Okay. Alright, so if anyone's watching, leave your predictions down below so they before the race so we can see who you have winning tonight's race. Any other comments or questions, please keep them going. If you have not liked the video already, please do so, and if you're not subscribed, definitely do that as well. We are still we're right at the halfway point in the season 11, so we have another 6 more rounds, including tonight, so that's 7. And yeah, so it should be a pretty nice race. We have Packer on a pole position, and the 2 Mercedes look pretty nice right behind him. Just Jose, who I believe, I don't know if I'm getting that right, but I think he's a silver reserve or silver driver reserving tonight. I might have gotten that wrong. Maybe he's a golden driver. I'm not too sure. I think he's a reserve driver though. We have Silent in the Alfa Romeo in P5. The 2 Red Bulls are going to look quick, 6 and 7. Gold Raider's always good at Britain as well. He's been here a few seasons. We have X Breezy in 9th and Bam Bam in 10th. It's a nice solid top 10. They were very much pretty close to each other. Let's see if I'm rooting for my guy Jones as well. I hope he gets some his first points of the season. He has struggled very much so. Both Ferraris, in fact. Dre as well, returning to season 11. F1 racer, your past silver champion from a few seasons ago, moving up to golden. How will he do in today's race? Same TJ in the AlphaTauri, the only AlphaTauri tonight. Drismic in the Racing Point, Dre, like mentioned, and Giggle, who did rejoin into the race. So we're all lining up here. Bryant says bats for P1, so let's see if that's true. It's going to be 26 laps. Clear weather track. And here we go. This is TCR Golden Class race number 6 for the British Grand Prix. Seafreeze with the call. Let's do it here. Lights out and away we go. Packer gets a decent start. Bats Plus edges his teammate out. Tries to sneak the corner, but it's going to be all lined up. Mercedes following. Positions in the back. All jostling for position. It looks no contact. 3 wide with Red Bull in the middle. He's getting hit a little bit between X-Breezy and Chargers himself. A little bit of contact from the Racing Point. And it's all pretty good all the way back. Anything in the back do you see, Kersey?
It looks like everyone is still intact. Doesn't look like any front wings came off. Actually surprising. It looks like a fairly clean start. A little bit of contact, and there goes a Haas that's off.
Whoa! X-Breezy went way into the dirt after after a left field there. I don't know if he got hit off. He was side by side with Chargers, and he went all the way in the gravel. I thought his wheel disconnected for a second.
And I spoke too soon. The Drismic of the Racing Point does have an end plate missing on that front left-hand side.
Alright, so it's
the rest
Packer.
Looks to be pretty compact, though. A fairly clean start, besides your usual couple contacts here. A lot of... We're pretty much P8 down to P14. Everyone has gained 2-3 places.
Yeah, and thankfully...
What happened to QVR?
Well, no, that's the famous glitch there.
Yeah.
And we have the DRS enabled, which is not enabled until next lap, because until thanks, Codemasters. Let's get it right. One day we will. So it's very nice and close. We have silent. Looking on a move in the Mercedes, we have yellow in the back of Sector 1. The Alfa Romeo looking down the inside. The Alfa Romeo on the Mercedes, barely making room. And good defense there from Perry. He's able to keep up to P3. So it's very nice and close at the beginning. And we have a really long line of drivers all the way besides the 2 Racing Points that had their troubles earlier on. Hopefully the leaderboard fixes itself here in a minute.
Looks like there's about an 8-car DRS train. Looking at it, as Jose is off in Meggetts and Beckett. I don't know what happened there. I was just on board with him as he lost it back in. I'm not sure if he got touched, or as we saw, I believe it was Bats Plus or somebody in qualifying put that inside curve and lost that Beckett's.
Yeah, it looks like he doesn't have any damage, so he should be able to continue racing. And now we should be getting DRS, so DRS will be now enabled. Charger setting the fastest lap. He did look quick in quali. Maybe he's well, he wasn't towards the front. He was around P5 or P6 with his teammate, but maybe they have a little bit more of a race pace car set up. But all these guys are going to have DRS besides Packer, and he's going to be struggling up at the front. So I don't know, maybe it's not dominant race, it's just so yet all these guys have DRS and the Alfa Romeo locking up.
And I believe that spin from Jose puts Bam Bam in a pretty tough spot too, because now he is over 2 seconds away from this big DRS train for the lead.
Alright, let's get these tires on here. Let's see what see, there we go. So the top 7 are on softs. We have another yellow. It's going to be same TJ. Spinning it at Cops. And we have DRS for the first time on the hanger straight. But no moves just
Silent
yet.
Getting really close to Perry.
All these guys are going to probably want to overtake as soon as possible, get some track position earlier in the race, so they don't have to.
And that looks to be a case for Silent. He's looking very racy against the Mercedes of Perry.
Oh, he might go for a move now. Nope. He thinks better. He's going to have a nice exit here, hopefully. On board with Snipper Pig right behind him. Now onto Silent, a little too far back, but it looks like a nice top 6 battle for the lead here, which is going to hopefully stay with us the whole race. Looks like we have two different groups forming.
Yeah, the top 2 look very comfortable. They both have just about an entirely full battery. So clearly Bats Plus not really looking to overtake at this point, unless I will stand corrected coming on to hanger straight.
Bats Plus really close, using all that battery. He's going to dump it down the inside for the lead of the race early on, lap 4, side by side, and he's gonna leave him some room on the outside. Packer's going to get the inside coming in to the chicane. Little bit of contact. Let's see who's got the throttle. And the Mercedes going to edge him out. Nice. So now he's between 2 Mercedes, but Packer very close. Oh man, I bet that dirty air is terrible right there. And he's going to dive it down the inside. He wants the lead back. And look at all these guys. Look at Silent now behind him.
Some contact there between Perry and Silent. Packer back.
Oh, he got hit. He got hit pretty good.
There? Oh, no, Silent. No.
They hit on the straight and right under the braking zone. I don't know if he moved under braking, but he got hit and he was sent into the corner and he just spun it. Him and Perry made contact, and
I think they touched a bit on the apex of that corner.
Oh man, that kind of takes out a contender.
Yeah, it was.
At the moment,
that fight was getting really hectic there. That's really unfortunate. I definitely had Silent, like I said, as my last podium placer. It looks like that one's out of the question.
Oh man, they both were going side by side for a little bit. Packer and Bats and Perry and Silent. The Red Bulls just kind of staying quite in the background, just taking a look and a peek. But it looks like we have a nice team battle here, just as we do in the constructors. The Haas's, or just the one Haas at the moment, Gold Raider down the order. The 2 Mercedes, very close into turn 1, and then the Red Bulls as well. So just as your standings in the constructors, all these teams are fighting just on track today, which is really nice to see the team battle come to alive, especially when you have the Mercedes, the Red Bull. All we need is the Ferraris, but they're down the order, Jones and Dre, so it's not totally realistic as per maybe a few years ago.
10-second time penalty for Gold Raider. I don't know what happened there.
I was going to ask you, how do you think the dirty air here is at Britain? I know at some other tracks, maybe like Suzuka or USA is quite bad.
USA, they're quite bad. I know from racing around here, it's actually pretty okay. Depending on how close you are in Meggetts Beckett's, that's kind of the toughest place to stay close at on this circuit. For the most part, you are pretty okay. I think you get a little bit going through Stowe, if I'm not mistaken. But other than that, you're pretty okay when it comes to the dirty air. Dirty what? The dirty air here.
Yes. Yeah, because these guys were very close. The lap prior, the Mercedes were really close coming into turn one. So, and before that, they were so close, within half a second coming through the S's, which for me is, depending on the setup you're using, if it's pretty low downforce, it's probably not the best. Coming through the S's might lose the back end. But looks like they're doing quite well. Golder is getting all sorts of penalties. I don't know what the other half of the Haas is doing today. Unfortunate for him, it didn't really turn out the best start for his race. But it's going to also be interesting by the time these guys pit. I'm sure probably at least one of these teams, either the Mercedes or the Red Bull, they have at least one, at least their teammate in the party, so they could coordinate when they're going to pit, because you definitely don't want to sacrifice double stacking. You will
definitely not.
Definitely lose this battle, and because the constructors are so tight, you really do need to coordinate that to the best of your ability. Packer, fortunately for him, now Golder is out of the race. He retired in the pit lane, so he won't need to deal with that as the other teams will. So I don't know if they have any team radio, but I would definitely be asking. I'd be asking you at that time. When are you pitting? And when do you think these guys will pit? They're on the soft tire. Should be an easy one-stop.
Yeah, it would definitely be an easy one-stop. I would think around 9, 10, 11-ish, if I'm not mistaken. The strategy could vary a little bit here because we have teams so close together. Like I said, we have 2 Red Bulls and 2 Mercedes back-to-back. However, they want to go for overcuts maybe, because Packer and Bats have pretty identical ERS right now, so it could be something where maybe Bats wants to save his ERS and go a multiple lap overcut by just draining his battery to hopefully pull off an overcut and have the fresher tire. So it definitely will be a bit of a variable here, maybe more than normal, because we have 2 sets of teams right next to each other. So obviously one of them has to go on a slightly different strategy at some points.
Yeah, I mean, look how close. Bats plus within 2/10 to the car in front coming through the S's. And man, all that dirty air, he kind of loses it all on the exit there, and it ruins his momentum. But he's going to dump his battery once again, going for the lead. He's going to go around the outside. Packer squeezes him. Bats plus into the grass. He's going to lose positions. Will he spin it?
Oh, and he does half spin as well. Oh no, he's got to.
And Packer comes into the pits, but
5-second penalty.
Speeds in the pit lane, and also Chargers follows him, but with no penalty to the Red Bull's name. So a lot just happened there for
there
the
goes
win.
Perry off at turn 2.
Whoa! Takes out the board.
The other Mercedes.
Oh man, trouble's here. Maybe the tires are going off. Snipper Pig is now leading. He is probably the Red Bulls probably take charge here.
Yeah, it looks like Snipper Pig, Jesus Pig, is kind of in a prime position here. Both the Mercedes just had a massive moment there. Both of them just spinning off. They were looking at, who knows, a potential 1-2 maybe if things would have went their way. But yeah, it looks like Bats? Yeah, it looks like Bats tried to go around the outside. And QVR just wanted to keep on the racing line. I don't think I think Bats wasn't expecting there to be such a lack of room. Nothing on QVR's part, but I think he's just kind of misjudged it a little bit. And then yeah, Perry looked like he lost the back end coming out of turn 1.
Yeah, next Breezy retiring in the pit lane, so that's a 3rd retirement today. All 3, I believe, retired in the pit lane after some spins and unfortunate
Pig comes in now
here
as well. Now you would think that just saved Packer because both of his 2 kind of main people that were competing with him just completely spun off, but he kind of just countered that by getting that 5-second penalty. So even though it looks like he's going to get a massive undercut on both the Mercedes, after 26 laps, I don't know if he'll actually remain in front with that 5-second penalty.
But look also at the gap. Chargers was not so far behind Packer when they all pitted. Look at the gap now between the Haas is just about crossing the start-finish line now, is setting the fast lap. Chargers
Oh, you're right.
is
What happened
way,
there?
way behind. I don't know if he had a wing change, possibly in that, maybe with the Mercedes going off, but Packer is now he's got damage. He's got damage with,
What happened there?
he got damage
Oh,
from the
my.
Racing Point. Was that
This is
Drismic?
just coming off.
Was that Drismic or was that the retired
That
X
was-
Breezy?
That
That was the
X-Breezy.
retired X Breeze. So that's another problem
So
with
is
the
that the-
game. You retire
the
in the
AI
pit
car
lane.
then?
Yeah, you retire in the pit lane, and the
Oh
AI
my
drives
gosh.
on track like a idiot. And now, oh, we got Chargers out. So
Chargers, what happened there?
what is going
Oh,
on?
No.
Someone's spilling oil on the track or something. I don't know.
And
Look at
he's off.
the Red Bull's all the way on the right side coming
Oh
onto
my
Wellington.
goodness. He
And
is all
that's-
the way off track. I don't know if that will cause a safety car now, but Bats Plus is going to dart into. Oh my God! What on earth just happened?
Holy moly!
The first 5 people who had a chance at winning the race just all
Blew it.
went south. I don't know what happened there.
They all blew. Now Snipper
In theory,
Pig.
this should put Snipper Pig, in a prime position here, coming up behind Packer, who now has damage. Oh my God!
It's probably either Snip Pig or the Mercedes, because Packers now, well, he's got tons of
And
damage.
we'll see where Bats Plus comes out as well.
Yeah, let's go on board with him. The Mercedes driver.
Packer is just coming across the line now, so we still lost a lot of time from that spin.
Yes, he's going to get overtaken, but he does not have a time penalty, and he doesn't have wing damage. So that'll put him right into probably a net P2. Snipper Pig very close to the Haas. Does he know he has damage? I don't know. He's literally pushing him through the exit of the corner onto the Wellington straight. He'll have DRS. This should be an easy pass. Packer's going to try to defend it even though he's got some wing damage. It should be a quite easy move. So Snipper Pig is now your net P1 leader after that exchange. Packer
Wow,
is
that was quite the lap 9 and 10.
yeah.
My
Now,
goodness.
now it's really up to if the Mercedes could come back at this. They didn't really have much of a. I mean, they're right back on track with each other. Bats Plus and Perry. They just had a few little spins, but if they work together, they could probably close up to the Red Bull in front. But they can't battle each other. They're probably.
I'm not sure. I feel like the Red Bull, depending on their pace, might be a little out of reach, but they can certainly secure a double podium here for sure. Being
What
only
about
3
seconds?
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, they work together here, and with QBR's damage, surely be able to overtake. And he will be going into the pits to replace that.
Oh, I thought he was going to speed again. That would have been really bad. Packer, he's your championship leader as well. You really don't expect that. I mean, it's kind of unfortunate. Well, number one, to get the speeding penalty, but then to come out and I guess he thought the Racing Point of X Breezy, which was the AI car, was an actual driver, and potentially he thought he would just move out of the way, but he didn't think it was an AI car, so kind of a costly mistake. Probably not even on his behalf, really. And it's just really unfortunate for him. It's going to give the other guys the edge.
One thing to mention, I did have Silent in as my podium, finishing P3, and I mentioned he would need a lot to kind of go his way to recover to that position. Highly unlikely, but he is about 2 seconds behind the 2 Mercedes, who are in the moment in a podium position. So he is about 2.3 seconds back from a podium position. So you never know where this. He did just set the fastest lap, so he could be on a charge here.
You know who else is because of the Mercedes spin? Silent has actually brought himself back, kind of in contention. We'll see how his pace is throughout the race, but he's only maybe 2 seconds behind the Mercedes. And behind them, Jones just made a move on Bam Bam. Is also there or thereabouts. So we'll see how these guys' pace goes. But these guys all relatively pitted. So they should be good to go to the end. The only guys really not to pit are the 2 guys in front, Ryan and Giggle, waiting for a safety car there on the alternate strategy. Safety car would be wonderful. They had a lot of action. Their luck didn't really quite go their way perfectly. With all that action, you would probably expect a safety car. But
one thing definitely to note as well, Packer looks like he didn't have another probably selected a different tire allocation in qualifying because he didn't have another set of mediums. So he is on the soft tire, which I think maybe it'll be a massive stretch to get those to the end. He's going to have to do about 13, 14 laps on those tires.
Yeah, I don't know if he probably maybe if he didn't have another medium, maybe put the hards on and just try to get to the end. The hards are definitely, you don't want to touch them really, unless you have to go the distance. But he might even have to pit again, unless he's. You definitely don't want to pit multiple times at Britain. It's such a long pit lane. I mean, it's like very long. You could read a book by the time you get throughout the pit lane. Depending on how quickly you read.
To note, Packer, he did have to serve that 5-second penalty as well. So he is very, very far back with that extra pit stop plus the wing and that 5-second penalty.
Yep, Snipper Pig just got past the Giggle, the McLaren of Giggle, who is not pitted yet. Bats Plus within 2 seconds, so that's kind of crucial for these Mercedes to pass Giggle on the straightaway, try not to lose as much time. They might get an opportunity here. He's within DRS now. Let's see if Giggle will get out of the way for these Mercedes, make it easy for him, or will he wait another few corners?
Yeah, and I figured Silence looked like he's going to have a tough time catching up as he doesn't have DRS on anyone. The two Mercedes are just going to be working together. Although we've seen things could just pop off in quite literally the snap of a finger for 3 or 4 different people. So as the two Mercedes make their way up to Pig 007, you never know who might get a little punchy, and Silent might be there to pick up the pieces.
And we've seen Bats Plus in a few Platinum class reserves. He did a few reserves in Platinum, so I think he's winless so far in Golden class. I'm just gonna double check that real quick. Yeah, he is winless and no podiums to his name, so this is a good chance for him to get his first either podium or win in TCR and also in Golden class. And he's got his teammate to help him. And they are looking very strong. He's closed the gap down as well, about just outside 1 second. If he could get in with that DRS, that'd be pretty nice. He's dragging his teammate along. So we'll see how long the team orders and teamwork will go ahead until they say, all right, gloves off, let's go for it. Packers setting some quick times on the soft, still outside in P12.
Yeah, he'll more than likely be able, even the people in the reverse strategy, he'll more than likely, I think, scrape up a couple points now that he's gotten rid of that 5-second penalty, unless maybe he gets a puncture at the end. I think he is going to have to go about 14 laps on those tires.
Alright, and now's a good moment for me to say, thank you all for watching. Please keep the comments going. We like to see that. Deathwish is getting his comments in for tonight, so appreciate that. Like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe as well. Bam Bam spins it at Stowe, and Ryan comes into the pits. F1 Racer goes for the overtake. And he's going to get that right there. I think I don't know, maybe he just got the back end a little loose. But he goes for a spin. As now Bats Plus is within DRS. Did he get it though? No. So not at the detection zone, but he's just that so much closer to getting it.
I'll say whoever is the lead reverse strategy runner, all this fighting between the top 4 or 5 guys who just completely blew it will put him in a really nice position. He comes out in P8 right behind his teammate on the harder compound and 6 laps older, so depending on his pace, he might be able to sneak up into maybe a top 5. Looks like Jones is in a provisional P5 at the moment. He's about 2 seconds up the road.
All right, so what we predicted came true, kind of. So we got the Mercedes all within DRS of the Red Bull now, so it's a three-way battle. It was a six horse battle, and now it's down to three, so it cut in half on that crazy lap earlier on the race. Chargers DNF'd, he is on out of the race. Packer, few troubles himself, and Silent went for the spin. He's sitting P4, but a few
like
seconds back.
Silent might have had another moment, because he's now 6.5 seconds back after being like about 3.5 seconds back. So I'm not too sure where, but it looks like he might have had a moment to be that far back.
We still have we have about 10 laps or so, maybe a little bit less. When should these guys go for the overtake? I feel like Bats Plus kind of has the momentum and the speed over the Red Bull driver. I feel like he should just go for it and hope that his teammate kind of gets stuck behind the Red Bull and maybe pull a gap. Unless he wants to wait.
It all depends on what he thinks his pace is. He is running a bit low on ERS. He's at about 35% right now. But judging by how he was racing Packer in the first stint, I'm sure he will attempt to go for that overtake probably as soon as possible.
Yeah, he's about under 210s, very close, but just not so much. Snipper Pig on the exit of the S's clipped the grass there, which kind of ruined his momentum. Jones making the move on Giggle, and he's got Just Jose, who just pitted on those. No, he did not pit, but he's got Just Jose right behind him. It's Ryan who pitted there, so that's for P5. That'd be a wonderful result for any of those guys. This is the battle. It's going to be a good one. Britain always puts on a very nice race, in my opinion. I feel like the track is set up perfectly, about half and half. You got the straights, the DRSs, and the nice quick corners of the track.
And actually, I'll say here, you were mentioning how Packer looks pretty dominant at the moment, but unless something pops off with one of the drivers ahead of him, which honestly I think it will. I think some of these drivers will get punchy here at the end, but even being on those softs, the distance he has to go with those, he is 15 seconds away from getting 1 point. So the guy who looks like he's kind of be dominating the first qualifying session and the race, he's looking like he might be barely scraping away a singular point today.
Yeah, and I think Bats Plus got the run. He's going to go for the lead. Snipper Pig not so good on the S's, and the Mercedes is going to be into lead, P1 at the moment. And he's got Perry very close behind. So does Snipper Pig have what it takes to get back past the Mercedes, or is he kind of on defense again?
I feel like he's going to have to do a lot of defending. I'm sure Perry, since those two kind of were next to each other a lot of the race and kind of fought their way up together, I'm sure Perry is going to try to look to get past this Red Bull. So I'm sure Snipper Pig is going to kind of be on the defense for a lot of this stint.
He's using some battery here. As long as he stays within DRS, I think it's all good, but he's going to try to go back at it. Using some battery around the outside. Beautiful.
Oh,
and he's going to get the inside here. And he gets it. Nice.
The amount of move he gives him there.
Yeah, it's still early, a little bit early yet, but I don't know. We'll see about a cops. No, he's gonna think better of it. Look how close they are coming through. Man, they just a little bit more rotation, and that car is going right around. Look how close he is to the back of the Red Bull, entering the S's, and look at all the momentum he loses with the dirty air. And then he tries to gain it back. You kind of have to time your runs very nicely, but he's going to dump his battery. He's got the DRS, and he's going to go back down the inside, but I think the outside is kind of preferred there, and Snipper Pig leads once again.
I'll tell you, Perry looks like he's going to be in a pretty solid position. He has the most ERS out of both these two ahead of him. And you never want to be the third car in a DRS train. However, the Bats Plus and Pig look like they're really going to fight for track position. So, like I mentioned earlier, it looks like things could easily get pretty punchy here at the end. And Perry looks to be in a pretty solid position himself.
I mean,
Bats Plus with the freshest tires out of the three.
I mean, isn't this so nice? We can actually have a three-way battle for the lead. There's no penalties here with the regular limits. These guys are just going at it. They're respecting the limits as well. We've been watching them all race long, able to keep within the white lines, within the curbings of the track extensions, and they're just going for it. Whereas on strict, we would have been... we would have had the calculator out. I'm pretty sure that would have been your job. So it's going to go right down to the wire here. And these guys are really going for it, which is very nice here in Season 11. Round 6 of Golden Class. Bats Plus making another attack. And Perry might as well. They might go 3 wide.
Perry looks like he goes... Oh. Perry looked like he was going to want to go for his teammate as well.
Oh, wow. A double overtake for Mercedes. And it's now a 1-2 for Mercedes. P3 for the Red Bull.
As standard procedure.
This is kind of a Hamilton, Bottas, and Verstappen of last year. This is like the 2020 version. But maybe next week we'll get the Red Bulls out in front. We have Imola coming up this week, but should be interesting and fun for the Red Bull and Mercedes going at it. But it's really nice to see a nice team battle here. I mean, look at these three. All within, just battling it out. Now Snipper's going to have to do a lot more overtaking. He was just P1, now he's P3. A little bit of a tap to the Mercedes.
And I'll tell you, Jones is going to be defending for his life here against Ryan. He has just about no ERS, and Ryan has on those soft tires as well. Down for the P6 position.
Yep, Bam Bam goes for a move on Giggle. He's going to get that P8, or maybe he was defending.
Yeah, it looks like Giggle never actually managed to get back in the session. It looks like his AI car has been driving. Yeah. So it actually looks like that might be QVR Packers saving grace, because we all know how slow the AI is around here. Actually, that does not look like AI. Never mind.
No, he's definitely going. I mean, if that was an AI, he's really going for it. I would want that as my AI car. He's really going for it.
I just know on other spec, when I'm spectating other people, it has this X next to his name, so it looks like he is full guns blazing, and now the gap at the top three is starting to spread out a little bit. I think this is kind of a representation, I think, of the pace. I think Bats Plus has had the pace on over the top three, and I think Perry was right behind him, and I think it was just a matter of time before Pig ended up falling to the two Mercedes. They both were very eager to get through.
Let's go back to Perry. He's very close. It was kind of on a move. Let me just go back. I'm trying to get a few battles here. I'm trying to get Ryan overtaking Jones if that happens. He's on the softs, but I don't want to miss the lead either, so we're going to kind of do a little double take here. Watching the gaps. Deathwish says Perry's helmet is sick. Who'd you say? Perry? Let's check Perry's. Yeah, it's kind of... He's kind of copying my helmet, to be honest with you. I'll throw my helmet out there. I'll put a copyright strike on that one. And X Ryan, very close. I think he might be able to get Jones. No, but Jones is defending nice. On those mediums versus the soft.
They're both absolutely draining their ERS here. None of them with anything left. Side by side they go.
Oh man, they going for it. Watch out, Jonesy. Jones doesn't have points yet in this season. We're round number 6, so he just needs a nice, solid race that he could come back off of and build some confidence, and he almost just binned it in the last corner. Come on, Jones.
Really
let's focus up here. Yeah, he's going to have to regroup.
Snipper Pig getting really close to Perry now. Going to be draining his battery. Perry does have, looks to be a really quick car in a straight line, because Perry does not have the slipstream on his teammate anymore, and even with Sniper Pig with dumping his ERS, the slipstream, and DRS, he wasn't really gaining.
Yeah, I think Bats Plus definitely has the speed over his teammate. Perry kind of played second fiddle as in the second stint of the race. I believe he was leading in the first half earlier on until he had that spin, which gave his teammate the track position. But he lost DRS to his teammate, so now Bats Plus on the ups here.
Perry going to be really low on ERS too. Looks like that's going to be kind of the race now, is fighting for that P2 spot. Although it looks like he actually still is in DRS.
Yeah, I think he was able to get it back. I think he used some battery to get back within it. Bats Plus sets the fastest lap of the race, 27.2. I don't know how quick Perry was last lap, but definitely wasn't as quick. But he did gain in the last sector, so he's back within DRS. 50% battery for Snipper Pig, 35 or so for Perry, 45 or so for Bats Plus. So they all have
Packer
enough.
Will scrape away that last point as well.
Yeah, it's definitely not over yet. I thought Bats Plus maybe had an opportunity to eke out a gap, as he was over the second mark, but Perry using some battery. Now he's with the slipstream. He's gonna probably get another opportunity on the straightaway.
Yeah, and now Sniper Pig is starting to fall back a little bit here. He does have the most ERS out of the three, but
it's about 2/10. Let's see what
nice
exit he gets.
By Sniper Pig now on the back of Perry.
Oh yeah, he's gonna go for it.
And just like that, Perry looking to attack his teammate now to defend from the Red Bull. Pig going round the outside. Still side by side here. Perry looking to hold it on the outside, some contact.
Oh, he shoves him right off. Oh, they both contacted. They spin.
There goes Perry.
Perry, no.
He didn't take off the overtake button, getting a lot of wheel spin off that last corner, which we saw. That last corner was on traction. The exit was giving a lot of drivers a hard time in qualifying.
Oh man, Mercedes 1-2
and
just
once
got
again, the
destroyed.
luck keeps falling this way. Silent gonna go. Looks on the penultimate lap, gonna go to look to take away that last podium position.
Wow. And that pretty much gave... That was kind of a sacrificial move there. Perry battling
bit, yeah.
Sniper Pig and giving Bats Plus the 2 seconds
I'll tell
or
you,
so.
This last lap is going to get really hectic for this last position, though, with Perry now having wing damage and Silent getting put under a lot of pressure by Jose as well.
Right onto the back of Perry. Does he know he has damage? Probably. He caught him really quickly. He's going to lose P3. Silent back up to podium contention as the Mercedes loses another spot to the Renault. 4 seconds back is his other Renault teammate. So I think he has to stay out here. A pit stop would probably lose you too much time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You have to stay out here.
He's going to stay out, so let's see what damage control he can do.
Yeah. And coming on to the last lap, it looks like Silent and Jose are going to be the two to battle out for that final podium position. Have about the same amount of ERS as well. Big lockup from Silent.
And it's really not what Perry needed in this race, because he's sitting P2 in the championship. Very nice day to get some points on Packer. And Giggle, what happened to Giggle? DQ'd for not using the right time. I don't even think he pitted. He didn't even pit, so maybe that was his AI. I don't know. It's been the mystery all race long. I don't know, but he's disqualified.
Really
I don't know if it was him or
aggressive AI. My God.
Holy moly. Well, he's out regardless.
Germany 2019.
And it looks like Bats Plus, Snipper Pig, and Silent are going to be the ones to take some points off the championship leader.
Jose and
Crazy
Silent
race
coming down to the
here
Stowe.
in
They look to make
Britain.
a move.
We have the Mercedes Bats Plus coming to the line. He's going to win his first race and on the podium TCR Golden Class. He will get it done. Snipperpig in P2 and Silent, after up and down day for him, will be glad to get a P3. Just edges out on the Renault into P4. Perry gets back Ryan for P5.
Wow. Last
And that
corner.
is nice. Jones also first points of the season. He'll be happy with P7
Bam
is the
gets hit from
Ferrari.
behind by F1 racer.
And here comes Packer. Packer with the Williams into an F1 racer.
Wow.
He just gets P9, so that's an extra point that he was able to
Looks
grab.
Like, the last braking zone going to the last chicane, F1 racer just went straight into the back of Bam Bam and then decided to do the respectful thing and not go ahead of him and let Bam Bam keep the position. But as he slowed down, QBR Packer just kind of took the position right away from him.
And a quiet day for Dre Diggy. We didn't mention him much, but right out to P11, so just misses some points. And Drismic as well, a few spins earlier on. Be pretty happy to at least finish the race, as quite a few were not able to do that. But man, that was crazy battling between those top six that currently earlier in the race. We saw pretty much just a straightforward race, which I actually enjoy. No safety cars, no VSCs, not many penalties really. Just kind of who has the speed, who can play the strategy right, who can overtake and defend the best. And today was Bats Plus. He definitely had pretty much a mistake-free day. And Snipperpig and Silent were able to also capitalize as well, but a pretty bad day for Packer in the office. He loses some points to Perry. Thankfully for him, not as many as it could have been. Perry could have had a nice 1-2 for the Mercedes, maybe a 1-3 double podium, and now he's into P5, so he loses some points there. But Chargers as well, DNFing, so he doesn't gain anything. As he looked pretty strong earlier on the race after his wreck. So Bats Plus also gets the fastest points. So that's 26 points to his name, where beforehand he only had 19 or so. So he'll move up the table after today's race. A very nice race from those guys. Pretty nice racing altogether. We already kind of went through that. Any final thoughts for today right after the race, Kersey?
I will say that kind of had quite a few moments there that really popped off there as the pit stops came around and right there at the end. I will say though it was definitely a missed opportunity here for Mercedes. As I'm looking at the standings, they're about 30 points behind in the championship, and with Packer only getting 2 points and a DNF by the other Haas, I think a 1-2. Which is definitely on the cards for the Mercedes, probably would have put them, definitely would have put them in the championship lead by a pretty comfortable margin as well. So definitely a missed opportunity for them there.
All right. Well, before anyone goes, we will be inviting the top three into the post-race interviews. If anyone has any questions, leave them down below. Don't forget to tune in for tomorrow's Platinum Class race, the 100% race we are doing for tomorrow's race. It's another one of those special events for the Platinum Class. This is technically the second event following the full qualifying for Monaco a few rounds back. So that'll be tomorrow, 8:15 p.m. Eastern. If anyone has any questions, leave them down below. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe before leaving. We definitely do appreciate all of the support, and hold a few minutes until we get these guys into the post-race interviews. Alright, I'm gonna need, what's the Snipper Pig. What does Silence username start with? RAS. Okay. Alright, so the drivers are invited. We're just waiting for them to join, and then we will start the post-race interviews. Let me just start here. Third was Silent. We'll do Alfa Romeo. Alright, looks like we got everybody. Before we start, just make sure your audio sharing settings are on so it gets translated to the stream. If that is all set and ready to go, I will start with Silent in the Alfa Romeo grabbing P3. Exciting race up and down, I shall say. What are your just general thoughts, and is P3 was that expected or unexpected? Because I would say it's probably unexpected, given how earlier on things went pretty crazy for you.
Can I just be blunt? Like, can I not hold back, or is this like a PG chat?
I will say I've never had that question right at. That is a first. I will say you do you, but you know.
All right. Well, coming in.
Let's make it. I always said, well, you know, a few seasons ago, I always said no one watches the post-race interviews because they're all so nice and everything, and then I started to, you know, get fun with it, you know, get some rivalries going, you know. Let's do some drama today, you know. That's what the post-race interviews are about. So you know, go for it. Go for it.
You know, I woke up 5 minutes before the race, so I sent a text out. I'm updating my PlayStation, so I was asleep, but no practice or anything. So obviously I wasn't expecting too much, but I saw that I had decent pace right from the beginning. So. And I did Silverstone a couple races ago anyway, like a couple days ago, I mean, and so I knew I was going to be good here. So, I mean, 5 minutes, you know, 5 minutes of prep, if that, none at all. So I didn't know what to expect, but once I launched myself in, I knew I was capable of. But yeah, race didn't go as expected, obviously. So yeah, it's a bit of a joke, bit of a tin pot what was happening, and. Honestly, if I'm going to be real blunt, it's just a bullshit. Just absolute bullshit. So, yeah, I just couldn't believe what happened lap 5. We're going side by side, and the other Mercedes is in the slipstream of Betts Plus. He's in the slipstream, pulls out, and hits me for no reason. So I'm already out of control of the car. I'm trying to regain control into the left-hander after the Sector 1 split, and I get punted again. So, bit of a recovery drive after that, even though I knew I had race-winning pace, considering I had the spin. I had to do a undercut on the medium tire to get ahead of some cars in the first stint that got ruined, obviously. So, recovery drive, great pace with no practice. So a bit of a bullshit, a bit of a joke of a race in my eyes. So yeah, obviously what could have been more, obviously if you look at the final standings, 11 and 12 seconds for me and Jose, who both got basically spun out of the race, and we both had really good pace. So without DRS even, we were doing good lap times. So having that DRS was really, it's crucial. But if you have it in clean air, that's a different story. So I felt we both had a decent race pace without it. So yeah, a bit frustrating. Obviously P3 is a bit of a recovery, but yeah, obviously at the last lap to get P3, you know what, karma. So
I was just gonna say, Perry was the one who had contact with you. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So Perry had some wing damage later in the race. You were able to get back past him. Were there any fingers drawn as you went by the Mercedes, or was it more of a let me get the deal done first and maybe I'll say it in the mirror type thing?
No, my head was under fire for the rest of the race. So,
I'm sure.
No matter what, even if I caught him or not, especially if once I saw he had that trouble at the end, that really lit a fire again. So I had some choice words as I was catching him and some choice words as I passed him. So yeah, like I said, pretty frustrated, pretty pissed off. So many races with poor luck, but good pace. I don't know what to do. Like so many things, so many stupid things happening, and it's like these results are not representative of me, and it's just
Right.
so frustrating.
Yeah. And any questions for our P3 finisher, Kersey?
Yeah, so Silent, I had you as my kind of outsider podium finisher, and I was able to be on board a little bit for that spin. And I know you were. It was after the spin, so you didn't see what happened. But there was quite a few moments for the front runners after you had spun. So obviously you didn't see that. So I want to know kind of what your expectations were as far as your recovery drive, and where you thought you might place, or maybe what you were kind of your goal was after you had spun.
My expectation was truly just P5, P6, or something like that. So to kind of outdo that was nice. I think on pace, obviously, not counting his bad trouble, like his karma really, I would have been probably P4 now that we look at the standings. But yeah, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, undercut with the medium tire was going to work anyways because in the soft stint, I knew that I was quicker than the guys ahead. Even after the spin, I was catching guys. So I knew that on this track, Cold Masters really screwed up the tire wear for the medium tire. So medium tires can go super, super far into the race and not have too much pace degradation compared to the people who pit at the normal point. So I knew that recovery was definitely on the table. I was going to have to use up the tire as best I could. But yeah, it's it was just super frustrating because before lap 5, before that incident, the guys ahead were just squabbling, and I was just right on the tail, and I was ready to pounce. So yeah, I knew I was quicker than the guys ahead. Just to get punted out was beyond frustrating. So
Yeah.
yeah, like I said, pretty bittersweet to get the podium, but yeah, just to know what could have been, especially for me and Jose, who are both I think uh, well matched, and we both have good pace. So for us to have those incidents is just not representative of us, and especially like I said before lap 5, I was hanging on. We were both latched onto it, and I was quicker than the guys ahead because I was just right on them. So
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, up and down race for sure, but congrats on the P3. And we will move on to our P2 finisher, which is Snibberpig, winning last week at Belgium. If that's correct, I think so.
Yes, sir.
That's your first win. You were in pretty good contention to win this one. With everyone going south earlier on in the race, you seemed like the only one that kind of had a clean first stint, no troubles at all. You led the race, you had to do some defending, you had some contact with Perry, which ultimately put him back into P5. Did you think you had a real shot at the win today? I mean, how hard were you defending and overtaking towards the end with the two Mercedes trying to get your position?
Yeah, I've never really had pace at Britain, so my goal for today was just try to get as many points as possible and try to be a little bit more aggressive than I normally am. See if I can gain a few spots by doing that. But, yeah, the chaos up in front of me really helped me out a lot. I thought I had a chance to win, but, during the pit stop, I accidentally clicked my front wing up, so
Ooh.
I was very slow down the straights, and then it was very unbalanced in the corners, so I couldn't really push that hard. But overall, I'd say I'm pretty happy with the result. I didn't really expect to be on the podium today.
Interesting. Well, definitely because of Packer and Chargers, your teammate not having the best of days, you do you gain all points from the three guys ahead, which is Packer, Perry, and Chargers. So, do you think you have a fair shot at the championship later on the race? You get you won last week, another second here today. Next week I believe we have Baku, if that's correct, and street circuit. Anything could really happen. We have the second half of the championship coming up. What's your focus, I guess, for the remaining races?
Yeah, I don't know if the championship's really in sight. Like, it's nice to think about, but Packer, Perry, and Charges are all really quick, so I don't think I'll be able to catch them. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna try to gain as many spots as I can and see where we end up. Got a few strong tracks coming up, so hopefully we can maximize those.
Awesome. Any questions, Kersey, for Snipper Pick?
No, I think we're good.
Actually, I actually just came. One just came up. The contact with Perry. Who would you put blame on? I don't really get the full camera on it. Did I? I don't think I did. Who would you put the blame on? Was that you or is that more Perry?
You're more blunt about it. Why don't you?
Yeah, let's just go for it. You know what I mean?
Me personally, I felt like I left room at that apex. I watched back the stream and I think it confirmed what I had originally thought. Yeah, I mean I was running around the outside the entire time. I don't think I really ever cut into him. I think more so I could be wrong too, but I think more so he just ran into my back
Your
right
side
tire.
pod. Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of just spun it.
It looked like just kind of not so much as a racing incident. It was more so I think on Perry, but completely accidental. I think he either didn't turn off his overtake or turned it on extremely quick because I think he lost the rear end and kind of tapped you a bit. And I know when I had just went on board with him, he was like in third gear or something like that with overtake on. So I just think it looks to me that he just span out the rear wheels on accident.
Yeah, and I mean if I did cause that in any way, I'm obviously sorry. I definitely did not
You
mean
could
to do
cut all
that,
that out. No, it was hard racing. I think it was all legit, and it was definitely fun to watch. So, congrats on the P2, and good luck in the final races, or the second half. I shouldn't say final, the second half of the season. So, all is good.
Thank you very much.
All right, then we'll move to the Mercedes driver claiming his first win in TCR, his first podium in TCR, Bats Plus in the Mercedes. Firstly, congrats. I guess what are your first thoughts after finally, I mean, I wouldn't say finally, but actually winning and on the top step in the Golden Class?
Thanks. And I guess it's pretty good. I think Britain's one of my better tracks. And I've obviously had a lot of bad luck. A lot of the first handful of races with like tire blowouts and just goofy stuff in general that happened. So it's finally good to have a fairly incident-free race, I guess.
Awesome. And were you in a party with your teammate? How much team
Yes.
radio did you guys have to coordinate your pit stops? It looks like you guys did it quite well. Also, defending and battling with each other, you did it pretty nicely.
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to stay out longer because I thought that I normally get better tire wear than most people do. So staying out for an extra lap doesn't really affect me as much as far as like losing time to an undercut. And I think that I'm quick enough on this track to where I can still catch people. So we actually kind of screwed up both of us a little bit. I think it was like lap 8 or 9.
Yep.
I almost ran into the back of Packer in one of the DRS straights, and I tried to go around the outside of him, and I think he just wasn't expecting me to do it, so he kind of pinched me off. So I went into the runoff area, and I lost about 4 seconds, and I think I went all the way down to 5th or 6th.
Yep.
And that was the lap that Packer pitted. Someone else pitted, and at that point I just stayed out until like lap 11, I think, or lap 12. I don't recall which one. So I had to make up those 4 seconds throughout the race and managed to do it. So we kind of let Perry pit whenever he wanted to at that point. But I think he was going to go in first regardless.
Awesome.
And in that incident at the end, he actually did leave his overtake on by accident.
Oh, he did.
And I think he was more worried about the when he got passed, I guess, around the outside, because Snipper went off of the curbs, like outside of the curbs onto the AstroTurf, and I think that was like his main concern there. But like the contact was kind of like no one's fault really. It's just something that happened.
Yeah, for sure. Coming through the last corner, it's kind of difficult to fit
kinda
the two
tough.
cars here, especially gaining on the power, trying to edge out the other.
Right.
I'll also just say this: you're sitting P9 coming into this race at 19 points. You grabbed yourself 26 points, closer to the top 5. I don't know if anyone is aware, but we do have our TCR All-Star race coming up in a few weeks. In the off week, to qualify, you need to be in the top 5. So you kind of get yourself closer to that goal if you were to compete in that. Is that something you're also kind of keeping an eye on? It's our first event here for the All-Star race for TCR. Would you like to participate in it if you were to get in
Yeah,
your top 5?
yeah, I definitely thought about that, and I figured that I really need to kind of win this one um, to get back into it. Last week, me and Silent uh, made contact on the long DRS straight. We were side by side. He was like on my rear wheel, and the track kind of, I guess the track kind of like closes up a little bit. So I was driving straight, but it pinched him under the grass, and we made contact, and we both crashed. So um, that's why we had that accident last week. So I definitely had a lot of points that were either, taken away by bad luck or, just silly mistakes or whatever, things that just happened. So I think I'm definitely a top 5 person for this specific season. So I'd really like to get back up there.
Yeah, I definitely think so. You had some good teamwork today, and didn't fully work out with the double podium, but still some good points on your rivals. A very nice race, so congrats on your first race win, and keep the momentum going, and you'll get that top 5 for the All-Star race at the Bahrain Short 100% race right before the TCR Grand Prix. So that's May 6th on the Thursday in a few
Yeah, we'll
weeks'
see.
time.
The
So
next
we'll
two
see how
tracks are
that
pretty
goes.
decent, so
Should be fun. I'm very
obviously
interested
the
in
best.
it. But yeah, I think that should wrap everything out today. Just another huge thanks for everyone watching, sticking it out. A very nice race in the Golden Class tomorrow's Platinum class, the 100% race. So that should be interesting as well. All our info is down in the description for the TCR website, the Fanatec affiliation link, and also with the TCR stickers provided by Sticky Fingers Canada. Look at all that down below. Other than that, I think we did all right, Kersey. How about you? We think
It could have been worse. Could have been
it
worse.
could have been very much worse. It could have been also better, but it was pretty decent for the first time. But overall, a nice race, and yeah, we'll do it again tomorrow for the 100% race at Platinum. Other than that, thank you all for watching. And I'm Seafreeze, and with Kersey here as well. We will see you all tomorrow. So have a good night, everybody.